live and in living color. Only one link this time because I couldn't find a full video recap like I have just noticed they've been doing for the past while. However, if you go to this link, you're able to see the full recap of the Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes versus Solo and Jacob Fatu, 8.5 minutes long, and then there's just like a bunch of little videos here and there as always, right? So let's get right into it. First, I want to bring out my notes to make sure that I don't forget anything. So Drew versus CM Punk in a Hell in a Cell match. This was absolutely amazing. It was, at the time, now it's in 2 days, but it was 15 years and a day to the day, and I believe in Atlanta. I think that was the whole point, where Drew was a part of his first WWE PLE. The match was just wild as hell. I mean, as you've seen it, you could see the highlights again if you click on the video. I can't do that, or you'll never see me again if I do that. And CM Punk won, and it was believable, and I loved it, and I don't know where this is going to go from here. I think this is like their third big match now. But this was great. Again, the storytelling, the moves, it wasn't just punching and kicking and throwing each other up against the cage. There were toolboxes, there were vice grips. Like, I mean, there was a lot of stuff going on, and it was just, it was a lot of fun. And at the end of the match, seeing CM Punk with like the oxygen tank and stuff like that. Now that could be for the dramatic effect, but at the same time, that could be real too, because that was a pretty grueling match. Just because it's scripted doesn't mean it's fake. Now, the blood, I sometimes get a little bit sounding like a mark. I think they really did bleed, but that could just be me. But I don't think it was overdone. I want to move on. There's really not much to say there other than it was great. Nia versus Bayley. And Nia defeated Bayley. And I got to admit, Nia's doing pretty good. She's like, she's doing good for herself, and I'm happy for her because she was gone for the longest time. And during that match, wasn't it funny to see Tiffy Time come out, and then Nia pulls like an Undertaker where she's laying on the ground. She just sits right. I'm like, uh-oh, busted. And then she pretends like she wasn't going to cash in on her, or that she was, but it was to do it to help her. But all that distraction with Bayley on the top rope led to her losing, whether or not they were just going to have her lose anyways, obviously. But the point is, Nia is pissed off, like beyond belief now. Because the whole thing I don't understand about this storyline with Nia and Tiffy is Nia's not treating Tiffy nice at all, and Tiffy's not a pushover. But she's letting herself be pushed over. It's just very bizarre. And I don't know if it's to do reverse psychology to let her think, okay. And then when she least expects it, Nia that is, then she'll just pounce like a cougar. Is she a cougar? I mean, like, okay. I don't know. But it'll be interesting to see what happens from that. Damian Priest defeats Grand Slam Finn. Distractions from the Judgment Day almost did cost Priest the match. And again, Jey Uso wasn't scheduled to be there. He wasn't there. And I know what you're probably thinking, but it's the same thing I said in my last video. It's a missed opportunity because they have that small camaraderie and all that going on. And for him to not just be able to come out for 5 or 10 seconds, I felt like that could have been just that much sweeter. So if I had to critique the match, just the overall production of the match, it would be, and the fans were calling for it too, I just think it would have been amazing to have that. But it didn't happen. It happens. Maybe that's why I'm not a part of creative. Maybe because that was a stupid move. I really don't know. That's a cool screenshot. Triple H came out and announced something really cool about Crown Jewel. That's going to be a new era for Crown Jewel. The men and women, so like the champions, so like your Gunther, for example, your Cody Rhodes, for example, they're going to face off against one another. Yes. Yeah, champion versus champion, but it's not title for title. This ain't WrestleMania 6 with the Ultimate Warrior and Hulk Hogan here. But what happens is if you win that match, you then get the 50-carat diamond crown jewel championship belt, and it is wild. And then Gunther addresses Goldberg, who's from Atlanta, I believe. He was there with his wife and his son, and then Gunther said, yeah, so you were never my hero, when he was talking about Bret the Hitman Hart when they were in Calgary. He said, I just said that, but really? Look at you. I mean, anyways, he called him out, gets over the railing, and then in the post-match conference interview with Triple H, he didn't rule out that we couldn't potentially see Goldberg in one final match. I do want to say something before I lose my train of thought and before I go on with the rest of this. Not that it's that exciting to begin with. Is the rumors that I read is that... Oh my goodness, what was I going to say? About the champion versus champion. So that would have Cody Rhodes locking horns with Gunther, if I'm not mistaken. But the rumor has it that Roman Reigns is leaving, okay? Come for the SmackDown. This is what I wanted to... I'm sorry, I'm having a... Okay? Roman Reigns, when Netflix comes with Raw in January the 7th, I believe, the idea is that Roman Reigns is going to be heading over to Raw for the first time in over half a decade, leaving Cody Rhodes on the Blue brand so that they can separate the two biggest baby faces on the different shows. Sorry, this is what I wanted to say. And within that rumor, which I'm going to have a link down below in the description box about that, is that Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns are going to lock horns at Crown Jewel. But how is that going to happen if they're doing a champion versus champion, unless, of course, the rumor is false, or I misunderstood the champion versus champion thing at Crown Jewel. So there you go. I wanted to talk about that, and I did. Rhea Ripley defeated the Women's World Champion, Liv Morgan, unfortunately via disqualification because Raquel Rodriguez came out and interfered. That to me was like... Again, I'm not a part of creative. Don't forget they were tag champions, Raquel and Liv. So there's that, hey, you're my homie sort of thing. I'm just not happy because I didn't get my way. Rhea Ripley didn't become women's champion. Maybe they're going to brew something up more for the future. I don't know. But definitely Rhea needs to be back on top, literally, with the championship because she never lost it. And in my opinion, when it comes to any superstar, I don't care if they're male or female, but yeah, we'll do female for a moment. I think Rhea is absolutely, truly one of the best I think I've ever seen in my whole life. Along the likes of like Charlotte Flair. Trish Stratus was really, really good too. See, a lot of times, remember back in the day, women were used more for eye candy props, to be polite. Not all of them were incredibly talented. Stacy Keibler comes to mind, with all due respect. Trish was more than just an eyepiece. Eye candy. I know what I meant. Rhea, to me, is like just like a full package deal. Like a crazy. Good on the mic, in the ring, has the look. Dominant, just crazy. Yeah. I really, really think she needs to be like the face of the women's division for championships. She's just that good, in my opinion. And it was funny to see, by the way, during the match. Oh, yeah. Dirty Dad Dom. Up in the... I almost said the steel cage. Well, he was in a steel cage, but in the shark cage, and how he fell out. The door open. He's dangling by a leg, and then he's getting smacked around like a piñata by Rhea Ripley. And I really love the part where Liv was out and Rhea goes to talk to the ref. She's like, I just got some business to handle. And he's all like, okay. Didn't even bother counting her out. I just thought that it was still cool, don't get me wrong. And it was an unexpected surprise. It was. And it is what it is. She had been suffering for a while, a skin condition. And it looks like she's got it under control and it's looking good. Which would explain the that top. Because she had posted some pictures a while back. She just had kind of vanished. And so it was not an injury, but something that was like really, really bad. And I'm glad that for her, honestly, that, she got to come out, have her moment. I just didn't like the way it ended. I'm allowed to not like how it ended. There it is. Dirty Dom upside down in the piñata. Everybody's just recording it. Shameful. Roman Reigns looking a little extra ripped. I'm looking a little bit more like Solo, but I'm trying to go for the Roman look. Oh boy. This was something. This was really something. So, and I'm glad I wrote the note because I almost forgot it. So obviously great match. Like to me, this was just awesome. But my heart sank for a moment, and it's all about, again, the production, the camera angles and all that, right? When Jacob Fatu pulled Roman Reigns off the apron because Roman Reigns was like this looking for the tag, and the way the angle was, you could see Roman, and then as Cody goes to tag him, Roman's like, drops down from the apron. I was like, no, he didn't screw him. No, he's a man of his word. And then we find out like 2 seconds later, it was Jacob Fatu. I was like, oh, thank you. Then it happened again, over the shoulder look with the camera. Roman really looking like he wanted to get the tag, and he did get the tag every single time. And he stood by his man, and I'm so happy that they did that because there was still a part of me that was like, is this a big swerve? And then they're just all going to gang up on Cody Rhodes, right? And then, at ringside, Solo's all like, who's the man in the hooded mask? And then you got like the Tonga Bros. They're like, look for him. And like, no. They turn around, dude in the mask. I thought it was Jey Uso. Not really. I kind of figured it might have been Jimmy. It was Jimmy. It was little Jimmy. Not our truth, little Jimmy. But yeah. And he super kicked the shit out of the Tonga boys. Knocked the Tonga right out of them. And it was great. It was awesome. And he looked fired up and he's like, you got this. And then Solo turns around, walks into a spear, loses 1, 2, 3. Jimmy comes into the ring, right? And he's all like, you're my tribal chief. And Roman's like, really? You for real? He's like, yeah. Then they hug it out. It was just awesome. It was great. And then as they leave, the one part, if I had to nitpick, let me grab a sip of my Diet Pepsi. Sponsor me anytime now. Post-match, they leave, right? And they look at Cody and they're like, yeah, good stuff, man. And they leave. Then the Tongas come back in. They lay a Tonga ass whooping on Cody Rhodes. Jimmy's like, come on, man. And Roman Reigns like, it was just the one time that I was supposed to be there. It's like, you're the OTC. I didn't like that small hesitation on Roman Reigns' part because he willingly came to help Cody Rhodes. Not once. I think like 2 or 3 times. So why would he not want... Like, I get it, the struggle, but Roman Reigns willingly helped Cody Rhodes without being told you should do this, it's the right thing. But he didn't wait too long. And then Jimmy was like, you know what? I got you, man. We could do this. They went in, did their thing, cleaned up house, and then it's set up for a beautiful little moment. When Roman Reigns picked up the title, didn't hesitate to give it to Cody Rhodes and try to, tug it out of his hands. He just very calmly just handed it to him and walked out. I don't know. To me, that was wild as shit. And then The Rock comes out. Does a little eyebrow raise. I don't know if you can see my eyebrow raise because I don't really have eyebrows anymore. It happens. And when The Rock went like this, I thought he meant like one, but then he went like that. I think what that meant was 3 targets. He now wants to go after Jimmy, Roman, and Cody. But that's just me speculating because he didn't say anything. He's The Rock. He just came, blew the roof off the place, got a louder pop than anything else. He didn't even talk or do anything. Came out with his people's champ and then walked out. But I'm excited. I'm real because it means he's still around. He hasn't forgotten. Well, not that he forgot. Again, from a scripted perspective. He was a man of his word that they were going to cross paths eventually. He's still the final boss. And that's the part that I love, especially with the post-conference match. It wasn't a match. There was no bloodshed. The goddamn conference interview thing, whatever it's called. Even Triple H said, that's the beautiful thing about this is we want the fans to be like, where does this go next? Because now we're all like, oh. And in closing, I just wanted to mention really quick that when I watched that conference and we talked about Raw being on the USA Network only until January the 7th, till the move to Netflix, talked about how do you deal from a show going from 3 hours to 2 hours when you have all this talent and you're trying to cram them in such a small time slot. It could be difficult to do that. And it is night and day different. And I think the reason the USA Network is doing that, which was the research I was doing, I think is really simple. It's to help prep the USA Network to fill in that slot because that show's going to be completely gone. So they're maybe they're going to throw in that extra show that's going to premiere for that final hour that Raw would normally be taking place. And then in January, they're going to have to throw in another like half a dozen shows. I'm kidding, obviously. To make up for that time, right? And then when it goes to Netflix, Triple H said, honestly, that's still being worked on. He does not know what that's going to look like. Literally, he knows no more than we do if it's going to be a 2-hour show or a 3-hour show on Netflix. But either which way, it doesn't matter because a 2-hour show without commercials is about, give or take, what Raw is now. I think it's like 2 hours and 20 minutes. I think you might lose 20 minutes of real estate time if you want to use that terminology. It's going to work out fine. But for the next couple of months, we're just the beginning of October. So we got all of October, November, December. Ugh. That's like a good dozen Raws with an hour short. And when you have this much talent and that much, or actually this much talent, this much time. Now you got this much talent, this much time. Triple H said that's going to be a huge stress. That's going to really impact the creative of things, who gets the time on the screen and stuff like that. So, yeah, I was shocked to find out that he doesn't even know what Netflix is going to look like. But I'm not worried about the Netflix part. We all know that that's going to be amazing. It's going to bring WWE to a whole new level. It's going to reach more people. And unlike other shows on Netflix, where Netflix produces it, they're self-produced at WWE. They just turn on the signal and allow WWE to keep doing what they're doing, but they're able to turn up the volume to like 13 or 14 instead of 10. So that's what's going to be magical. I want to know, what's it going to be like? I don't even know if the last Raw was 2 hours, to be honest with you. Was it? I don't remember. Either which way, moving forward, it will be interesting to see just how that all looks. If they just have to speed things up a little bit or condense some segments to make up for it. I don't know. Overall, I was very pleased with this PLE. I still wish there was a little bit less, not storytelling, a little bit less recapping for so long. I mean, it makes sense, don't get me wrong, in case you weren't in the loop. I just wish we could get that one extra match or two. And they don't have to be throwaway matches that have nothing to do with nothing. I just wish there was that one or two extra match. But maybe I'm wrong on that. Maybe that's not a good move. Thumbs up as always if you liked the video. It does greatly help support the channel with the algorithm and trying to make me more relevant in the search results when people are looking shit up on the internet. And if you didn't like the video, go ahead. Go ahead. Give it a thumbs down. I'll bend it in half, twist it. Normally, you'd get the solo Sakoan spike in the rectum. But as you can clearly see, he is in no position to do that. But while it's in there, you're getting the boot in the hand that's got the thumb in the rectum. That was me trying to make it rhyme. That was cringy. And that's why I did it. If you want to subscribe, great. If not, trust me, I get it. There's a lot of amazing YouTubers out there. Small Afro, BDE, Assemble, Mastodon. I don't want to give you too many names. You'll go there and you'll forget about little old me. Still remember me. And then there's Chris Danger. Okay, I really got to stop. Take care. And hopefully, I'll see at least some of you in the next one. Bye for now.